Hi there, I am Mukul, your English language coach. In this video, I've got you some easy English sentences that will help you to introduce yourself and describe yourself to the people you have never met before. If you already speak English and looking for the ways to improve the way you talk, then this video is for you. And if you've just started to learn, then this video is definitely for you. As I said, I'm going to share the sentences and the words in this video that will help you to improve your vocabulary. So if you're new to this channel, please subscribe to continue learning. Let's begin the talk. So what is the first thing that you talk to a person when you meet him for the first time? What are the questions that you ask? Or what are the questions that they ask you, or how do you respond to them? The first thing that you ask is name, of course, right? So either you can walk up to someone and introduce yourself, like telling your name first, like, hello, I'm Mukul. And the other person will respond to you in the same way. The person will either start by telling the name or will ask, do I know you? So if someone asks, do I know you? What do they mean to say? I mean, have we met before? But is there any chance that I know you? Because I don't remember. Because they don't remember, so they ask you, do I know you? Or simply you could walk up to a person and ask, hello, I'm Mukul. What's your name? So when you do that, in that case, the person is more responsive and the person thinks that there is something that you want to talk to them about. So that is a very good conversation beginner. So what did I tell you? You walk up to someone and you say, hello, I'm Mukul. What's your name? That is one way to start. Second way is you can simply go ahead and ask, what's your name? What is your name? The person would respond, I'm Richard or I'm Rachel. The second thing that you ask is, how are you doing? Or you can say, how are you? Or simply what you can say is, what's up? What's going on? There are many ways that you can ask, how are you? Now there are many ways that you can answer to this question. You can simply say, I'm great. How about you? Or you could simply say, I couldn't be better. Now, as I said, there are many ways that you can respond to this question. I have made a separate video on that. The question that you can ask to people about how are they doing, or the sentences that you can say in the response to this question. Now, you always talk about work. So, what do you do? People want to know, what do you do? People always talk about your work. So, if you're learning, if you're a student, you can simply say, I'm a student. If you're a teacher, you can say, I'm a teacher. If you're a doctor, you can say, I'm a doctor. So either you can tell them, what do you do? Or you can simply tell about your profession. What is your profession? You can say, I'm an artist. You can simply say, I am an engineer. Okay? These are the responses when someone asks you, what do you do? So when people ask, what do you do? They generally mean, what do you do for a living? So you can simply talk about what do you do. Okay? The next thing is, people do talk about what are the things that you like to do. They are simply asking about your hobbies. So you can tell them, I like to read books. Depending on what you like to do, I spoke about myself, like I like to read books. So I'm a bibliophile. If you like to play something, you can tell them, I love to play football. I love to go out and play football. So why I'm telling you only these three important things, like your name, your work, and your interest. So I'm telling you about these things because these are the things that people are really interested to know about. Because to be practical, in today's time, people are really not interested about your personal life, right? They only want to know about what are the things that you do and, of course, who are you, right? So I remember back in the time when people used to introduce themselves, they used to talk about their family, their kids, their parents, and their neighbors, and even about their pets too. But now people are really not bothered about those stuff. So when you start talking about yourself, make sure what you ask and what you answer. How do you answer their questions? There's one more thing that the people ask you when they come to know about your work, or they come to know about your profession. So what do they ask? They ask you, what drives you, or what moves you? So what do they mean? They are simply asking you, what is it that motivates you to do what you do? What is the source of your motivation? How do you motivate yourself to do what you do? For example, if I am a teacher and someone asks me, why did you choose to be a teacher? I can simply tell them I love to share what I have learned, and knowledge always grows when it is shared. So I love it. So you can be positive and talk about your interests and what keeps you motivated while you do your thing. So if you want to be friends with someone you had been thinking about, step up and break the ice. Breaking the ice means to talk to someone for the first time. As I just told you, you can tell your name, you can be nice and ask them how are you doing, and you can talk about the work that you both do. Simple as that. Let's move on to the next part of this video, in which, as I told you in the beginning, I will also tell you how you can describe yourself. So in this one, I've got 3 or 4 different sections where I will be telling you how you can describe about your personal habits. We also call it self-description. Now, self-description is very important. That is something that you want to tell the world about yourself. The world will only know about what you will tell them. So that is why self-description is very important. It doesn't matter if nobody asks you about it, but you must know how to answer those questions. You can describe yourself when someone asks you, let me know more about you, or can you talk more about yourself? So these are the questions that you can answer when you know how to describe yourself. So here's a sentence on your screen. There's a boy, and the boy says, I'm so cool that even the ice cubes are jealous of me. So the boy is using a word. What word is it that is describing him? He's using the word cool. Now, cool is an adjective here. When we describe ourselves, we use so many adjectives, as adjectives are the words that describe the noun. So when you talk about yourself, you'll use an adjective to describe yourself. As in the picture, I'm so cool, even the ice cubes are jealous. So ice cubes are jealous, that's not important. What's important is the boy is describing himself as he's so cool. Alright, so let's begin. I'll give you some easy sentences that will help you to describe yourself when you're out and talking to people. So what is the first thing that you can start with? When someone asks you, okay, tell me more about yourself, you can simply say, I am an ambitious person and I love to take challenges. Remember the words that I'm giving you in this video. Ambitious person. Now what is ambitious person? The person who aims high or who has ambitions. The person who has plans and wish to achieve great success. So exactly like this, you can go ahead and simply use the sentence and you can say, I'm an ambitious person and I love challenges. Next thing that you can say is, if you really are, you can say, I'm honest. Now remember, the pronunciation of this word is honest. Simply H remains silent. You can say, I'm honest. I'm honest. That means you never lie, you are open to people, and you never cheat. Are you an honest person? Tell me that in the comment section below. Next sentence is something that you can say if you are really an outgoing person and you love to meet people. You can say, I'm an extrovert. I am an extrovert. And an optimist. So extrovert means someone who likes to go out, meet people, is very friendly and is very open to others. And optimist means someone who is very positive and cheerful. So you can simply go ahead and say, I'm an extrovert and an optimist. Or if you do not like to go out, if you like to stay indoors and do not like to meet people, there is a word for you. You can use, I'm an introvert. Introvert is a person who really likes to stay in, and there is another word for the person like that is loner. You can say, I'm a loner. No, nobody says that. That is mostly used in a negative sense. I'm a loner. No, that's depressing. So you can simply go ahead and say, I'm an introvert. But if you are an introvert, why would you care to tell that to people? Another word that I can give you is sanguine. Now sanguine is synonym to optimist. Again, the person is very cheerful. You can say, I'm sanguine. I'm a sanguine. Next thing you can say is, I'm hardworking and reliable. Now reliable is again trustworthy, something that someone that you can trust upon, or dependable you can use. So you can use all of these sentences while you describe yourself. We call it, or you can call it as the personality description. So read the sentence with me once. Basically, I'm an ambitious person. I love challenges. I am an honest, an extrovert, and an optimist person. I'm hardworking and reliable. If you need to practice this sentence, pause this video and practice. Next thing in this video is about your eating habits. Now, as you see in the picture, there are two faces. One has a different kind of food and another has a different kind of food. Exactly like that, everybody has different kind of food habits. Yes, we're going to talk about the food habits or eating habits. You never thought that you would even have to describe your eating habits. But yes, there are situations when you'll have to talk about it, and you don't want to find yourself in a place when you are running out of words. So I'm here to help. I'll be giving you exact sentences that you can use to describe your eating habits. So what is the first thing that you can say when you are out with someone on the lunch? When you're on lunch, it gets really hard to decide what's on the menu. So when someone asks you, what would you like to have? You generally say, I don't have a choice. Why don't you decide? So let's get out of that situation. And you can describe your eating habit. So the first thing you can say is, I am a vegetarian, or you can say I'm a non-vegetarian. So this tells the preference of food that you have. I am a vegetarian, that means you prefer to eat vegetarian food. I'm a non-vegetarian, that means you prefer to eat non-vegetarian food. One more thing I would like to tell you, vegetarian, the pronunciation, it's vegetarian, it's not vegetarian. I've heard people call it vegetarian, but it's not, it's vegetarian. So that is the first thing you can mention while you are on a lunch with someone. Second thing is you can talk about your eating routine. Like you can say, normally I take 2 meals a day besides a heavy breakfast. Or you can say light breakfast. So heavy breakfast means you eat a lot in your breakfast, and light means you eat just okay or less than what you should in your breakfast. You simply use the sentence and say, I normally take 2 meals a day besides a heavy or light breakfast. The next thing you can say is, I am a moderate eater and I avoid spicy and greasy food. So what is a moderate eater? Moderate eater can be described as the person who does not eat much, does not eat less, but just eats in a quantity which is sufficient for the body. So you can say, I am moderate eater. I don't eat much, I don't eat less. Now, as I told you, greasy or spicy. So spicy food is something which is full of spices. Greasy food is something which is full of fat, the food which is full of oil. Okay, or you can also say, I avoid oily food, greasy food. So these are the foods which are full of fat, and I'm sure you would want to avoid that. Next thing you can say, if you eat a lot, you can say, I'm a glutton. Now, what is the word? Glutton. Now, the pronunciation, glutton. Make sure that you're not making any tongue sound, any strong tongue sound in the end. It's simply glutton. Glutton. So someone who eats out of greed, someone who is very greedy eater, whatever you feed them, they would never say no. Greedy eater, glutton. Okay. Next is frugal eater. Now, who is a frugal eater? Frugal eater is a person who eats very wisely, who is very economically spending on the food and eats just adequate, just what is sufficient for the body. If you are that person, you can say, I'm a frugal eater. So you can mention, or you can choose out of these three words, moderate eater, glutton, or frugal eater. What you are, please mention that in the comments below and let me know. Next thing you can mention is, my staple diet is. So what do you eat regularly? What is your staple diet? Is something that you eat regularly. Like in India, our staple diet is dal, chapati, rice and vegetables. And if you're very health conscious, you can also mention, I prefer to eat vegetables, especially the green vegetables. So what are the sentences have you learned here? Let's read that once together. I'm a vegetarian. Normally I take 2 meals a day besides a heavy breakfast. I am a moderate eater and avoid spicy and greedy food. I prefer to eat vegetables, especially the green vegetables. So when you tell these things to a person, the person definitely knows about your eating habits. and now you're sorted for the next time. Next thing that you can talk about is your dress habits. Now you might think, do I have to describe my dress habits too? You never know. It's always better to know about these things. So you can simply start by saying, I have a very simple dress habit. I have a very simple dress habit. I dress to please myself. That means I do not dress to please others. I wear those clothes in which I think I look good. I wear those clothes in which I feel comfortable. So you can simply say, I wear those clothes in which I feel comfortable. Now remember the pronunciation again, comfortable, comfortable. You can also mention, I don't follow fashion for the sake of fashion. That sums up to, I don't follow fashion blindly. I only wear the clothes that suits me. You can also mention, I avoid gaudy colors and prints. Gaudy colors are the colors which are very sharp, very unpleasant to eyes, or the prints that you don't like. If you like it, then it's fine. You can simply say, I love to wear prints. I love to wear printed clothes. And in the end, you can also mention what is it that you usually like to wear. Like I would say, I look good in jeans and shirt. So when you go out with people for shopping, they know what you are going to buy. So let's read the sentences. If you need some more time, pause the video, read and practice it, and then continue. I have a very simple dress habit. I dress to please myself. I wear those clothes in which I feel comfortable. I don't follow fashion for the sake of fashion, and I look good in jeans shirt. So that was all about your dress habits. Next is something that we are going to talk about, your sleeping habits. Yes. Now, again, sleeping habits, really? Yes, really. So what you can say to describe that, first of all, you can say, I'm a sound sleeper. That means you just take adequate sleep, or you just sleep sufficient, or you sleep properly. You have no issues while sleeping. Or you can say, I'm a heavy sleeper. I'm a heavy sleeper. That means you sleep a lot. Or you can say, I'm a light sleeper. That means you sleep really less. Even while you are sleeping, you are half awake. These are the three things that you can mention, like the way you sleep: heavy sleeper, light sleeper, or sound sleeper. You can use any of these things to describe the way you sleep. So what kind of sleeper you are, please let me know in the comment section, and I love to read your comments. The next thing you can say is, normally I go to bed at about 10 o'clock and I sleep for 6 to 7 hours. Normally I go to bed at about 10 o'clock and I sleep for 6 to 7 hours. Isn't this simple? Very simple. After this, you can say, I'm an early riser. Now, early riser, that means you wake up early in the morning. Or you can say, I wake up with the sun. Or you could say, I wake up with the lark. Now, what is lark? Lark is a bird. And birds, they usually wake up early in the morning. So you can use that too. Isn't that interesting? I wake up with the lark. And one more thing is what you can mention is, I prefer to sleep in a big and an airy room. Let's read the sentence once again. I am a sound sleeper. Normally I go to bed at about 10 o'clock. I sleep for 6 to 7 hours. I prefer to sleep in a big and airy room, and I am an early riser. So that was all about your sleeping habits. So these were the sentences that you can use to describe yourself, from your personality description, from your eating habits, from your dress habits, and from your sleeping habits. So I'm sure this is going to be helpful to you. If you've learned any new word, please like the video and share it with the people you think it can be helpful. And don't forget to subscribe. I'll keep bringing you lessons like this. That's all for now. I'll see you again. To subscribe this channel, click on subscribe button, press on the bell icon and select all to receive all the notification from this channel.